Hello, I'm Jerry. I've been a furry artist for over a year now, and I gotta say, I love it. 2 years ago, if you asked me what furries were, I probably would have had nothing good to say about them. But looking back on it, I was just as cringy and weird as the furries I very much distasted. But around that time, I became really good friends with someone who just so happened to be a furry. And perhaps you clicked on this video curious to find out what this fandom could really be all about, and perhaps enlighten you a bit on what it means to be a little furry. I gotta say, once I found out when I was a furry, I became quite conflicted with my feelings about furries. A lot of people still hate furries, but I believe it's mostly unfounded and out of misunderstandings. I myself became a furry because I saw the true side of the fandom, so let's go through some popular misconceptions and reasons why I used to dislike furries. I believe the media has given furries a bad rap and portrayed furries in a very skewed way. For example, CSI Fear and Loathing, My Strange Addiction, MSNBC, and many more. Videos and articles like this tend to focus on very niche and ridiculous aspect, because that's what generates the most attention. If this is the only thing people see, then they will come to assume that the entire fandom to be such. But things are looking better in the recent years as we are starting to see more positive light being shed onto the fandom, such as videos from NBC, Channel 4, and Vice. If you want to learn more about this, I recommend checking out Abergwine. His whole channel is almost dedicated to review videos about furries in the media. There is another stigma that furries are degenerates and social outcasts. There are many reasons for this belief, however, the community is really friendly and will open their arms to just about anyone, even including those who may strengthen the stigma. The community really have people from all walks of life. We have people who works for the governments, scientists, doctors, writers, and artists. It doesn't really make any sense to generalize the entire furry community or any other community under stigmas. Which brings us to the next point. Although it is true that the furry community has an adult side to it, it isn't what the community revolves around. You can be a furry and not be into furry porn at all. That's totally fine. There are lots of furries that are completely safe for work. If you're into it, awesome. There's nothing wrong with liking a little fuzz. Hit me up on Telegram. Another thing, furry porn often gets associated with bestiality from outside of fandom. I understand where the concern is coming from. But you gotta understand, it's just fantasy. Very much like video games, slaughtering the entire village and burning it to the ground in video game doesn't mean you will actually do it. So why should we hold the same connections for furries? It's just not right. In the end, it all comes down to this. People can think what they want about you or the fandom, but it's your life and don't let others' opinion control you. The furry fandom has a lot more to offer than what most media outlets will ever acknowledge. You will find an ever-expanding community of friends that you can be open with. Nobody will judge you. You can find friends, you can find love, you can express your weird love for just about anything. There is so much more to being a furry than what the media tells you. Because if anything speaks for itself, I'd have to admit, it takes bravery to walk around in a fursuit. You know you will be judged, but you can strive knowing you have friends you can call families to lean on. Until next time, stay fluffy. An additional note, I have also been working on a really big project called Regal Tales. I have gotten quite a lot of helps from the writers and friends helping me with my English and give suggestions for the script. Regal Tales is a fantasy visual novel set in the medieval period. I'm currently the artist, animator, and programmer for the project. If you want to support me and be in the game, consider becoming a Patreon.